Hi everyone, it's Eric and welcome to my full review of the Microsoft Lumia 435. Now this video is going to be split into 5 segments: build quality, screen, performance, battery life, and finally value. So I'm not going to beat around the bush in this review, I just want to get straight to the point to let you know if this phone is worth your hard-earned cash. Let's get to it. Okay, so first let's start off with the build quality. Now this is a budget handset and I've been really quite impressed with what kind of build quality you're getting here. It is a little bit bulky, but it feels really nice in the hand. It doesn't feel cheap at all, and the sort of like coating that is put on the back is very nice and textured and feels very rubberized, and you never feel like you're going to drop this in your hand. It feels very nice and grippy, and it doesn't look like you're paying about £60 for this smartphone. The screen is 4 inches and it runs at a resolution of 480 by 800. Now this is where one of the sacrifices are made. The screen on this is really low quality. It doesn't look very good, the colors are really quite muted, and you can see the pixels on the screen so easily, even at a sort of like this length where you would normally put your phone. The viewing angles are not that impressive indoors. Outdoors is barely visible, but you can still see it when you're out and about. It's just not the best panel, but again, that's to be expected with this super low price point. Now let's move on to the performance. Now, this has a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor. It's an older Snapdragon architecture, Snapdragon 400, and it's also got 1 GB of RAM, and to tell you the truth, the performance does not at all feel like your cheap, typical budget smartphone. Budget smartphones are getting much better now, and this is also, like I said, in the £50–60 price point range. I'm surprised what performance you are getting from this smartphone. It is so impressive. I've had no problems running all the apps I'd be running, like Twitter and various other social networking apps. And if you want to play some gaming on this, I've got Mirror's Edge on here, which I was very impressed to find out was available in the Windows Phone market, and it runs absolutely fantastically. The only thing that lets the sort of like performance down, in my opinion, is the speaker to consume media or just to play games. It goes extremely loud. Now, how loud this goes on a smartphone like this is really impressive. The speaker at the back is very loud. That being said, it is so blurry and distorts if you pass the 15 volume mark, so you're going to not want to go down to 30 at all. But it is extremely loud, and it does get it's a bit of a headache to listen to after a bit as well. But if you drop the volume down, it is a decent listening experience. It just needs a better quality driver in there. This does have the Windows Phone market on here, and it is great to sort of like run all these apps, but the problem is, if you're trying to basically search for something like Twitter, the results are so inconsistent, and they start bringing up results of things that you didn't even search for in the first place. For example, as you can see, if there's various other apps here, and I didn't even search for these apps, I searched for Twitter, and they might have Twitter integration, but they're not actual Twitter apps. So as you can see, Windows Phone is actually doing a very bad job of this. Android, as you can see right here, is actually doing a much better job. When I search for Twitter, it's pretty much giving me all these Twitter results, so this is a great sort of like filter of your searches. If I go onto iOS, on the other hand, with the iPhone 6 Plus, you would expect the iPhone to have better sort of like app filterization, but it doesn't. It doesn't filter the apps as good as Android, and it's really quite inconsistent, which is really quite surprising. I didn't expect that from the Apple App Store. Now let's move on to the camera. Now this has a 2-megapixel camera at the back. It does not have a flash, but again, that's to be expected. But to tell you the truth, I think a flash from now on, even on the like best of budget handsets, should be a given. It really should. Well, at age we're in now, flashes are starting to come into front-facing cameras, so you should be able to get a flash on the rear-facing camera. Now, the rear-facing camera really is nothing to shout home about. As I said, 2 megapixels, that's 480p video. You haven't even got 720p video on this. The video is really quite awful. The audio, nothing special at all whatsoever. And the actual photos are really quite blurry and messy. They're okay if you want to look at it on this screen and show some photos to certain family members or friends when you're out and about and you've got nothing else to take a photo with. But to tell you the truth, this is really one of the worst cameras I've used on a smartphone. Nokia, even with low resolution cameras, they really quite surprised me, but there's no surprises here. It's your run-of-the-mill 2-megapixel camera, and you're not going to have to expect any good performance from something like this. Okay, so this is what the 480p video looks like on the Lumia 435. It's nothing to shout home about, but that's to be expected, really. And I think we should talk about the battery life whilst I'm recording this segment. The battery life on this is really not that great. It only gets me through a day, and if I'm hardly using it, then it can get me through 2 or 3 days. But if you're using it as you would your regular day-to-day phone, it only gives you a day, and I've had better battery life on other Windows phones as well, and those Windows phones actually have much more power and specifications, and they also have a better resolution screen. So the battery life on the Lumia 435 is very unimpressive. It does have a front-facing camera though as well, which is really quite impressive, again for a smartphone at this price point. For quality, you will not really expect anything from it, but if you want to do video calls and stuff, you do have a front-facing camera, which does give you a bit added flexibility, especially when you're outdoors. You're going to get reasonable quality that way. And finally, we're going to talk about value. Now, for £60, is this worth picking up? Well, if you are on a super low budget and you don't want to spend even £100 for a smartphone, you want to pay well under the £100 mark, then yes, this is one of the best smartphones you can get for that price point. In fact, this costs about £60, but I think if you shop around, you can get this for around about £50. And if you wait a couple more months, eventually, who knows, the price might go down to £40. So you're getting a lot of good value right here. The performance is really good on this for running Windows Phone, for web browsing as well as great, and this is expected to get the Windows Phone 10 update as well. So hopefully that will make this lower-end handset run and perform better rather than perform slower. I've quite enjoyed my time with it. Again, for a low-budget handset, this really has quite surprised me. I've tested other low-budget Windows Phone smartphones, and they've been really quite impressive as well. Would I buy this? I absolutely would not buy this. My budget is higher. I would expect more from a smartphone. I need it for more, for when I'm doing various coverage videos or anything like that, and just in my day-to-day routine, I need the faster performance, and I need the much stronger sort of like hardware and specifications. But for everyone else who just needs a phone, and you're new to the smartphone sort of genre of technology, then yes, by all means pick this up. It will far outperform your needs, and it comes in at a really great price, and I think that Microsoft have done a fantastic job with this latest budget handset. So that does it for me, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to this channel, and if you like this video, click that like button that's just below this video, right around over here. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care.